In the flat countryside between Warsaw and Łódź, something extraordinary is being planned. A project so large, so deliberately placed, that it could fundamentally change how people and goods move across an entire continent. It's called CPK, short for Centralny Port Komunikacyjny. Poland is positioning itself to become one of the most important transportation crossroads in all of Europe. Let's start with the basics. Poland's current main international airport is Warsaw Chopin. It handles around 18 to 19 million passengers a year. For a country of 38 million people, one of the fastest growing economies in Europe, that's not going to be enough. So Poland's government made a decision. Instead of just expanding an old airport on the edge of a crowded city, they decided to build something new, something bold, something that could serve not just Poland, but the entire region. The Centralny Port Komunikacyjny, the central communication port, is being designed from scratch, roughly 40 kilometers southwest of Warsaw, on land that is today mostly fields and forests. The target? A brand new airport, capable of handling 40 million passengers a year when it first opens. And over time, with expansion potentially 60 to even 100 million passengers annually. To put that number in perspective, London Heathrow currently handles around 80 million passengers a year. Frankfurt, one of Europe's great aviation powerhouses, handles around 60 million. Poland is not building a regional airport. Poland is building a continental one. The story gets more interesting here. This project goes beyond aviation. Warsaw Chopin Airport will remain, but CPK is designed to become the primary hub, shifting the center of gravity of Polish aviation to a location far better positioned for the future. Now here's the part that most people miss when they first hear about CPK. The airport, as massive as it is, might not even be the most transformative part of this project, because built into the CPK plan is something Poland has never had before, a genuine national high-speed rail network. Think about what rail travel looks like in Poland today. It exists, it works, but it's slow, fragmented, a product of decades of underinvestment stretching back to the communist era and beyond. CPK changes that. The plan includes dozens of new rail connections radiating out from the hub like spokes on a wheel. Cities that currently take 3 or 4 hours to reach from Warsaw by train would be reachable in under 2 hours, some in 90 minutes. Krakow in the south, Gdańsk on the Baltic coast, Wrocław to the west, Rzeszów near the eastern border. The idea is breathtakingly simple when you see it on a map. The airport becomes the heartbeat of a national mobility network. You don't just fly into Poland, you connect through Poland, land at CPK, board a train, be anywhere in the country within 2 to 2.5 hours. This matters enormously for a country Poland's size. Poland is roughly the same size as Germany, and Germany has one of the most extensive rail networks in the world, built over 150 years. Poland is trying to leap ahead, building in years what others built in generations. And that ambition is what separates CPK from an ordinary airport project. This is national infrastructure reimagined from scratch. The airport and the rail network form a single system, one design, one purpose, turning Poland into a central transit hub for Europe. To understand why Poland is spending this kind of money, you have to understand where Poland is right now, economically. Over the past 3 decades, Poland has transformed itself from a post-communist economy into one of Europe's genuine success stories. GDP per capita has multiplied. Foreign investment has poured in. Major companies from across the globe have established regional headquarters in Warsaw. Poland today is the 6th largest economy in the European Union, and it's still growing. But Poland's leaders know something that economic historians understand well. The countries and cities that grow fastest are usually the ones that sit at the center of movement. Not just movement of people, movement of goods, ideas, capital, and talent. Think about Frankfurt. For decades, Frankfurt Airport has been one of Europe's primary aviation hubs, and that single fact has shaped everything around it. The financial district, the logistics industry, the international business culture. Or look at Istanbul. Turkey built one of the largest airports on the planet, Istanbul Airport, with the explicit goal of turning Istanbul into a global aviation crossroads between Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Today, it handles over 70 million passengers a year, and it has transformed Turkey's position in global aviation. Poland is watching these examples and asking, why not us? Poland sits at a geography that is, frankly, underused. Between Germany to the west, Scandinavia to the north, the Balkans to the south, and the vast expanse of Eastern Europe to the east, Poland is the middle of something. But until now, it has largely been a transit country. A plane flies over, a place trucks pass through. CPK is Poland's answer to that. a deliberate, structural attempt to become a place the world stops at, not just passes through. And the economics of that shift, if it works, are enormous. Hubs generate jobs, logistics parks, hotels, corporate campuses, secondary rail towns, entire ecosystems of commerce grow up around major transportation nodes. Poland is betting $9 billion that it can build one of those nodes. Right here, right now. There's a reason the ancient trade routes of Europe ran through the Polish plains. The geography here is almost uniquely suited for movement. No mountain ranges, no impassable rivers, just open, flat land connecting east to west, north to south. Today, that same geography makes Poland one of the most strategically significant locations for modern logistics corridors. The Baltic Sea is to the north. Major Baltic ports, Gdańsk, Gdynia, Szczecin, handle enormous volumes of cargo, and that volume is growing as shipping patterns shift. To the west, Germany, Europe's largest economy and manufacturing powerhouse. To the east, a vast region that remains significantly underconnected to Western European infrastructure networks. And Poland is right in the middle of all of it. Aviation analysts estimate CPK will sit within a 2-hour flight of more than 500 million people, a massive catchment area for an airport still under construction. But the real story goes beyond passengers. It's about logistics. Modern supply chains run on airports as much as they run on seaports. Electronic components, pharmaceuticals, perishable goods, high-value manufacturing parts, these all move by air. A major hub airport in central Poland would give manufacturers and logistics companies across Central and Eastern Europe something they currently lack: a world-class air cargo gateway close to home. Right now, many of those shipments travel through Frankfurt, Amsterdam, or Vienna. CPK's designers are betting that proximity and capacity can redirect some of those flows. And when you combine air cargo with the planned rail network, offering fast, reliable ground connections to Poland's industrial heartlands, the strategic logic becomes even clearer. CPK is not just an airport, it's a node, a junction point, the kind of infrastructure that, once built, reshapes the map of how a region functions. Zoom out for a moment, because CPK is part of a much larger pattern. Across Europe, governments are rethinking their infrastructure. The old networks, built in the 20th century for 20th century needs, are starting to show their age. And the countries that are investing now in next-generation transport systems are the ones that will define how Europe moves in the decades ahead. You see it in France, where high-speed rail has been progressively expanded. In Spain, which quietly built one of the world's most extensive high-speed rail networks. In the Netherlands, where Schiphol Airport has long operated as a model of integrated aviation and ground transport. But what's different about CPK, what makes it genuinely notable, is the scale of integration being attempted from scratch. Most of Europe's major hubs evolved over decades. They grew, they were added to, they were patched together from existing infrastructure. CPK is being designed as a system. Airport and rail, conceived together, built together, optimized for the world as it will be, not the world as it was. That integrated approach, airport plus rail, logistics plus connectivity, national network plus international hub, is where infrastructure thinking is heading globally, and Poland is attempting to lead that conversation in Central and Eastern Europe. Whether the project is fully realized as planned, or whether it evolves over time, as nearly every mega project does, the ambition itself is reshaping how Poland thinks about its place in Europe, and how Europe thinks about Poland. So let's bring it back to where we started. In the middle of Poland's countryside, a project is taking shape that could change the map of European transportation. At first glance, yes, it looks like an airport, a very big airport. But look closer, follow the rail lines out across the country, track the trade corridors that run through this region, look at the billions of dollars of logistics infrastructure being planned around it, and what you see is something more ambitious. Poland is building a hub, a genuine, purpose-built, 21st century transportation crossroads, designed to pull people, goods, and capital toward the center of Europe. Whether it succeeds at that scale is still an open question. Mega projects of this ambition always are. Let us know what you think about that in the comments section, because here's the question nobody is quite ready to answer yet. If CPK works, if Poland really does become one of Europe's great transport hubs, what does that mean for the countries and cities that currently hold that role? Now, if you want to see how Poland is already transforming travel across the country, watch next. Poland's new high-speed train to the mountains is here.